Welcome, guys, to the PopOut Club podcast. I am your host, Kadaisha, and this is a platform for creatives that want some advice, that just needs a safe space. I am here for you as a creative. If you guys want to know what I do, so basically my background is in branding, video production, photography, more of the creative assets, more into fashion and music. And yeah, that's really my background of like what I do and what I enjoy to do. So today we're going to talk about something that's really, that I think we need to hear is work-life balance. I think work-life balance has been a conversation we all have been hearing over the past recent years. A lot of people overwork themselves just to live by in a cardboard box because capitalism. So we're going to talk about the way that as a creative, a lot of us creatives have part-time jobs, have full-time jobs. Some of us have families. Some of us go to school and trying to create on the side. A lot of us don't have the resources or the privileges of some people that might just be rich or people that might have more time. So this video is for you to just get an understanding of like how I work, but also just a way for you to still try to create even in a hectic, community and hectic age we're in of the hustle culture. So I'm gonna tell you guys kind of like what I if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my computer because I wrote some notes, but basically I just want to talk to you guys about like work-life balance, in my opinion about it, and kind of like the thing. So work-life balance, obviously work-life balance is, to use time to work, but also to have a life. And I'm not the best at that. So my advice may not be the best because I probably don't get that much sleep and my balance isn't great, but I'm trying to be more intentional about it, but it's not the best. I'm not gonna lie, it's not great. So I don't know why I'm creating this video. But I know a lot of people that's really important for them, and that's something they want to have more of a conversation about, which I think is very great. So this is going to be so generic and I will explain it. The way to do work-life balance is you have to make it work for you. Boom. I know that's something that is like, okay, girl, like what? But yeah, genuinely, because you can look at all these videos, but because their work-life balance works for you, works for them, doesn't mean it's gonna work for you. Just because they tell you do this, that, and this and that. I mean, I'm gonna give you guys like guidelines and things that I'm being hypocritical because I am gonna tell you what I do. But at the end of the day, you have to figure out what works for you as someone that's a creator, because your life doesn't look like the next girl. Like the girl that might be talking about it might be a full-time content creator, so this is her job. But you might be doing that but also have a full-time job. You might have a child, you might have another part-time job on the side. Like you might have all these things you got to do, and you might not be able to do it like she did it. So you can't really listen to what so-and-so's doing because that's not what you're doing. You have to do a work-life balance for you. So this is kind of my work-life balance. So I work a full-time job, and also I run a little business on the side, my photography business. And then also I still stay at home, so there's like things I have to help with around the house, or like, try to have a social life, and I create content on the side as well too. So I do a lot, and some days I'm tired, but the way that I do it is, the first thing is I don't work on, or I'm trying to, let's just say hypothetically, because I'm trying to do better. I personally try not to work on more than 1 to 2 projects at a time, or 1 to 2 things a day. So this is what I mean. So let's just say you're an artist, you're someone that paints, but you're also somebody that does graphic design. Doing those things, especially if you have a lot going on, is hard. It's hard to do it in one day. So what I do is maybe I half it. So I really am focused more on my content creation and my business. So half of the week I will do something with content creation. If that's scripting one day, then filming one day, then editing one day. And then the other half I'll do answering emails, trying to find clients, doing something for my business, because it gives me more time to focus on my craft, but I'm not stressing myself like, oh, I got to do graphic design in 2 hours and then I got to do bit, because I don't believe as human we're actually truly multitaskers. We could be, but we don't put as much work when we're multitasking two big things. Now, if it's small, like sending an email, that's fine. But I think doing your big task, I think you need to focus on just doing one of those things a day. So if you're trying to come up with an idea for a concept, use just one day to just create a concept. And then to kill two birds with one stone, make content about it while you're doing it. That's what I do. When I do something, I make content because it kind of kills two birds. So stacking habits are really good too, because a lot of my content I'll record while I'm doing something, so it's already there. So I don't have to be like, oh, I gotta record, you know? So I think that would be really good advice to take. All right. So let's continue. So, another thing that I do is I keep tabs daily, weekly, and monthly. So I create a month goal. Like, what is your goal? Is your goal to create 4 portfolios in the day? In the month? Is another goal to network with 10 people? Is your goal to work for a company of some sort? Like, what is your goal? And actually further than that, maybe you can create a 5, like maybe a 1 to 2 year goal. Like maybe your goal is to work for Fenty Beauty as a brand, a brand manager, I don't know. And, the first step is, well, you need to build a little bit of a real portfolio. Like if you ain't got nothing to show, they're gonna be like, girl, what you do? So maybe one thing you'll do a week is like once a week, I'm gonna take a couple days to just brand a sketch, a creative strategy, like of some sort. And then your month goal, maybe then your goal for the month is like, okay, I have my portfolio. Maybe my goal will be like every week I'll pitch out to makeup companies or something. And then kind of, writing down and keeping down tabs. And then maybe your year goal is to work for a small makeup company and then build yourself up to a beauty company. You know what I mean? So maybe your daily goal or the goal you do throughout the week is like, okay, this is what I'm going to do in a day. I am going to craft a creative strategy every day, like a few, steps. And then maybe the week goal is to at least have one creative strategy done. And then your monthly goal can be like, oh, my goal is to have 4 of them done. And then maybe the next goal is to start pitching. You get what I mean? And then you know what I mean? So that's kind of have to do it. It's really taking small steps because you're going to burn yourself out. Like, yes, people will be like, well, I did 3 full-time jobs and doing this, which is great for them. And they deserve the success that they have. But some people just ain't built like that. I said, yes, there are, I'll talk about it more at the end. But like, yeah, like life happens. And sometimes we can't control what life gives to us. And sometimes you just have to make the shit work. I'm grateful the job that I have is pretty flexible. So I can work on what I work on more than probably other jobs. But the thing is like you have to make what works for you, because what works for me isn't going to work for you. I have a little bit of flexibility. You might not have as much flexibility, or you might have more flexibility. But I think keeping tabs daily, weekly, and monthly, figuring out what the big goal is. What is the big goal? And you got to be specific. Don't be like, oh, I just want to be an artist. Okay, technically you already are an artist because you're creating. But what is your big goal? Is your big goal to work for a company? Is it to be entrepreneurial? Is it to make a certain amount of money? Is it to work for influencers? What is it? Is it just to work for yourself? Is it a hobby? Like what is it? And then you got to trickle down from there. Another thing is vision boarding. Vision boarding is probably one of the most helpful things for me because I am a visual learner. You can tell me something and I'm gonna look at you like you're stuck on stupid. So vision boards help me. Get pictures of what you specifically want. Don't just put a picture of a random thing and it makes no sense. Like if you are trying to work for Fenty Beauty, put Fenty Beauty on your vision board. If you're trying to work for a small makeup company, maybe find makeup companies and the ones you do want to work for that is more reachable at that time, put it on your vision board. If you want to make 4 portfolio pieces a month, put the number 4 in portfolio. Like when I mean be specific, because when you see that same thing every day, your brain starts to remember how to do it. Your brain goes based off of repetition and consistency. So when it sees that if you want to make $5,000 a month, put that. Don't put I want to make money, because what does that mean? And then when you put it, you can see it every day. Look at it, look at it, look at it. And then you start to remember. Vision boards help me. I personally like making vision boards every month because every goal changes for me every month. Some people do it yearly, some people do it quarterly. Like, do what works for you. Even some people do it daily. But look at it at least, like, even if it's not every day, at least a couple times a week, just to remind yourself, you know, that balance. So another thing is, towards the end now, is you probably do have to sacrifice. There will be some nights where you probably will be up a little bit later than you want it to be, or you might have to get up earlier than you want to. I don't believe in you have to do it every single day, because you're gonna burn out. And I've tried to be that person, and literally I would burn out, then I wouldn't do anything for a week because my body's so freaking tired that I can't. You might have to sacrifice a little bit. I said there might be a couple nights out of the week you might have to, you know, really be up a little bit later to do what you have to do, because sometimes you just don't have the time, or sometimes life happens, or sometimes if you're working 2 jobs, it's really hard to find time. And another hack is use your breaks. So if you have a lunch break, use your lunch break to create. Use your lunch break to create ideas. Use your lunch break as one of your strategies. Another thing, if you, while you're driving in a commute in traffic, maybe listen, you know, maybe use a voice. This is what I do. Maybe, you know, not to be on your phone, use a voice memo and just start doing something. Like, I don't know, talk about something. Or what you could do is, like, you know, you could also, you know, a lot of people like drive, or when they're in their cars, they talk on the camera. Maybe that can be your way to create content